Greetings, you guys. This is going to be another reading. So if you guys are new to my channel, welcome. If you guys are existing subscribers are back on my channel, welcome back. So yeah, disclaimer. Okay, all of this is alleged. Okay, take it as entertainment only. Okay. Also, what I might say might be triggering for some people. You might agree, you might disagree. Whichever way you go, it's your free will choice. I'm not here to convince. I'm only just to be here as a divine vessel and speak what I'm getting, what I'm receiving, what I'm led to say, and what I'm led to do. Okay. Anybody that has an issue with me, don't even waste your time. I'm not gonna waste my energy going back and forth with people online. It's a waste of my energy. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into the message and get into the reading. So I'm gonna start off with the channel, what I'm getting, because before I even this has been a long time coming. Actually, this topic has been a long time coming, because I felt this some years back, maybe a couple years back, and I had a discussion at the time with someone close to me, and I was receiving visions of different people in the industry, and sometimes spirit will use the likeness as a symbol of that person. Sometimes spirit will show me a vision of a person and their song might come through, and it's not so much to pay attention to that person or that, let's say, actor or whatever, but more so like the content of what they're showing me. What role were they playing, or what is the song saying? It's like a messenger. Or what does that person's name mean? What's their birthday? It's like spirit speaks to me in multiple ways. So if I'm getting a vision of someone, it doesn't always have to be that spirit is talking about that specific person. It's like a symbol. The spirit was showing me different individuals, and I was hearing chosen, like chosen in a sense of divine favor, being an elect, a divine assignment. Okay, so as we all know, enough of what we know, or what we're told, or for some of us that can see, or may even have ties or know people, the whole thing of that, like, it's right off the bat, we already know that world, the entertainment world, is a lot of darkness, if you will. Okay, darkness, spiritual enslavement, spiritual bondage, ego, a lot of things. So in this field, there are those that are, placed, I hear, like divinely placed and implanted. I'm not talking about industry plants per se. I mean, some of them might be chosen, but those that have that divine favor and have a divine agenda and purpose, whether they're awakened to it or not, some of them, I feel like, did start off in the church. This isn't, okay, let me just say this. My whole take on spiritual things, one might say, oh, you're evil because you use tarot, so how can you talk about God? That's not true. If you are like someone that's into spiritual things, you know that no one should be of a religious spirit. Just because I either talk about the Bible or I talk about Satanism, whatever, doesn't necessarily mean that you're religious. I take into account all spiritual beliefs and faiths, and I know that they all kind of birth one another, if that makes sense. There's all similarities in those stories and the figures. If we're talking about Jesus, Jesus was a mystic. he was not welcomed. His practices, he was called evil. He was being accused of conjuring spirits and things like that because his miracles and the things that he was capable of doing. So the religious people of that time, the Pharisees, um, tried to demonize Jesus. So everybody wants to paint this picture of, oh, I'm so holier than thou, but Jesus was not liked. And on top of that, he was not welcome in his own hometown. So he was also, he had the favor and the grace to do his divine assignments in certain places where there were thieves, where there were people that were spiritually sick, people that were deviant, people that had illnesses and sicknesses, raising the dead. He had many gifts, um, in spaces that he, I guess we would say people that are chosen or divine vessels should not be in certain spaces. Okay, that's not true. And some don't have a perfect past. Not everybody comes from church. Not everybody had a perfect past. And those that have the rough path or the rough past or didn't come from, a squeaky clean lifestyle or upbringing or whatever, they can still be divinely used. There's a lot of people that are in the industry, whether they know it or not, they are divinely chosen, and that's why certain things, they can't get away with certain stuff. That's why they get demonized a lot. They're put in a place for a position for a reason to reach a demographic of people. I will say that some are neglecting their calling. They know that what they're doing is not what they should be doing, or it's for a time. Spirit is showing me somebody, but I'm not going to say their name. Um, this person has divine grace and divine light. They're very powerful. Um, but he chooses to, for whatever reason, he's in bondage spiritually. Um, there's a lot of them. And they have gifts and callings, and some of them are not taking heed to that. Some of them know that they have a divine connection to the Most High. They don't even have to. It's not about Bibles and stuff like that. See, the thing is, I do resonate with the Bible because I can read it and decode it in a certain way and take from it and read it in spirit, not like in this Bible thumping the way that they teach you, like some churches teach you. It's not reading it in spirit, if that makes sense. Our connection to a higher power is not man taught, man made. It is what exists when we existed, what we come from, that source of light. And not everybody comes from the source of light either. But those that resonate, that know there is an opposite higher being, power, whatever. I mean it, I'm saying it wrong. When I channel, I'm just giving y'all a heads up. Sometimes I cannot pronounce words. I already struggle pronouncing people's names and stuff. So some words too. But it's all about your own personal relationship and connection with the divine, the Most High. And a lot of them know that there's more to what they're doing. Some of them don't even like what they're doing. Some of them thought it was going to be something completely different. Maybe they thought that they can get away with saying, "Oh yeah, I'm part of it. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that," and you're stuck. Um, Certain people planted in their life that don't really have their best interests, and it can feel like a prison. I'm hearing. Some of them have gotten very arrogant, like kind of fed into the whole lifestyle and thinking that they can do certain things that they don't have the grace to do because they are not like the wicked ones, but they're participating as the wicked ones, so they get more backlash sometimes, or they if they get ahead of themselves. And I'm gonna do a blind item on a particular rapper that Spirit is showing me. Um, but it's kind of like that you shouldn't be doing this, and you have a grace for a time, and then it's like, okay, well, when you do something that is out of alignment, you are going to get repercussions from that. I cannot protect you. I warned you. This rapper had like plenty of warnings to stop doing what they were doing. But yeah, some of them are there to enlighten others and awaken them in certain ways and their own agendas, their own assignments, and some of them feel kind of capped. Spirituality is a popular thing, whether people resonate with it truly within their hearts, like they're drawn to spirituality to help heal themselves, help to heal and motivate other people, however they utilize that, or they're just doing it for a trend. Some of them it is trending, some of them they're doing other things behind the scenes. You don't see it. Um, it be the ones that look like they're like good that are really not. Um, but there's a lot of chosen vessels in the divine, like in the industry, and there will also be newcomers, because what's happening and what I had this discussion too with a friend of mine. We were talking about, yeah, it's like a wave, a new wave of newcomers that's supposed to be in the industry. And it might be some of you watching if you resonate with this. I have plenty of confirmations of this from other people um, that resonate with this because they themselves feel that they're supposed to be, you know, um, sharing their gifts with the world. When I say gifts, not just their singing, but it's like their healing gifts, their lyrics have messages in them, and for a time that was welcomed, and then certain people got a hold of hip hop and then just demonized the whole message that we had to share. And this is not just for the realm of hip hop and R&B and stuff. This is in all areas, and not just the music industry, but all areas in the entertainment, because there are I'm seeing athletes as well. I'm seeing actors. Some of them had to transition, or their spiritual contract was to transition for a time. Some of them long before some of us were born, or during the time, years and years back, transition so that others can, do what they couldn't do. It's kind of like our ancestors. They'll um, be the forerunners and do things and set the template for us, because there's going to be a time where they're going to do better works than what we've been able to do. And just like in the Bible, God says that we will do better works than He, because of what we have available to us. Now we have the internet, we have social media, instantaneous contact, and being able to reach millions, thousands, whatever, hundreds, um, in seconds, right? So many are being chosen to use their platforms, and some of them are not. And I feel like it's a time where certain people that are in place, they're not going to be in those positions anymore, because it's a lot of wickedness. I have mixed feelings about the singer Jaguar Wright. Some of you guys might be familiar with her. Um, but one thing that she said in one of the videos I was watching of hers is that she said that her mission is to dethrone the people in high position because of their wickedness, and so that people that have gifts can share their gifts without having to go through the things that she's had to go through and saw other people go through, and rub shoulders with people that inflict this type of demonic behavior on other people. So she was like, pretty much saying that she wants to create a space where people can free, like, we should be able to share divine gifts without having to sell out, or without having to degrade ourselves, or to degrade others, or to inflict certain things, or cast spells on people and things like that. Like, we should be able to share our gifts. That's what she was saying, pretty much. I'm paraphrasing, but, and I agree. So when I heard her say that, it made a lot of sense, because I saw that, and I had another friend, or maybe a few actually, I should say, confirm that that's what they feel. And I believe it. And like I said, it's not just music industry, but the people close to me, they're musically gifted, a lot of them. So I feel like that is true. Um, it's enough with the energy harvesting, and what you see in the industry is a lot of feeding off of energy. It's a lot of modern day, um, I can't even, like, when I channel, I can't really put into words what I'm saying. Like, I could feel the energy or I'm seeing the images, but it's hard to put it into words. And sometimes it's like multiple things coming in at once. So I'm trying to place it all together and filter through the messages and what's being conveyed. But what I'm getting to is that um, it's like modern minstrel shows, um, exploitation, um, slavery in the best way of the word, um, modern day slaves, and not just inflicting it upon black people in the industry, but everyone pretty much is a slave. And for those that do not really resonate with that life, they will participate in it, but you'll see them and it's like a lot of, some of them have drug habits before, mental illnesses before they go in, and that is exploited even more. It's like you're the perfect candidate because you're already kind of mentally unstable, or you're already broken in spirit. You already have a low self-esteem. You already have a drug habit, so it's easy to exploit you, to get you further and further caught up. I don't care, I just want you to make my money, pretty much. And then there's those that kind of go in and get turned out, or have to numb themselves from the pain, from the trauma, from the things that they see and witness. And you have to have really tough skin too. But there's a lot of people that have tried to speak out, and there's those that have. We live in a day and time now where I feel like nothing is hidden, so it's almost like, what can you do? But for a time, it was like you just couldn't say certain things, you couldn't express that. But we're in a different time now, and I feel like a lot of people in the industry that do dirt and that are kind of had their judgment is pretty much coming, because everybody has a grace to make a decision whether we're going to continue to do things that we know is not right, or to cleanse and purify ourselves of certain ways that we have, because we all have ways about us. Um, but I feel like some of them are going to start turning on each other. They're going to start turning on each other. And also, too, it's just things that's going to come out itself. Not everybody has discernment to see certain things. Some people are still looking at things from surface level and looking at this whole thing as it's conspiracies, or no, not my favorite artist. Yeah, you got to play ball. And I feel like for some, there's like certain things that they are protected from. And like I said, if you're placed in a certain environment, whether you realize that is your assignment or not, for a time, to be put in those places, those positions, so that you can reach people, it's certain things that you cannot do. And it's like, when you go against that, you will face the scrutiny. You will be scrutinized. You will be lied on. You will be the face of um, this person is a drug addict, or this person is an abuser, this person does this person does that, even if it's true or not. Yeah, spirit allows certain things to happen too. Like, yeah, there might be certain things that you're not supposed to do, and if you go against it, then there's repercussions for that on that side. But also, divine spirit allows it, because again, there's certain things that you're not supposed to be doing, and for some, they don't even have to be doing anything wrong. That's another thing of being a divine vessel. You get picked on a lot, or you get poked at a lot, you get trolled a lot, you get gaslighted a lot, you get gang stalked a lot. You'll never have any peace. I shouldn't say never, but it's like you have to understand that you're different. You're not like that. And for some people in that industry, they don't know that, okay, I don't fit in with this life. I don't really resonate with these people, but I have to do it because this is my job. This is what I'm, supposed to be doing for whatever reason. So I'm saying that, like, I'm seeing a lot of people that either know or they don't know that they're divinely called. They have some type of divine assignment, and that's why they're placed in these certain environments, um, allegedly. And for those that are supposed to come in, it's almost like you're unlikely to come in because you don't have any ties. You're not an industry plant. You don't know anybody already in the industry or someone that works behind the scenes to get you in. You don't know anybody really. You might know of some people, but you don't have that type of pull, right? So for you to be put in that place, it's nothing but divine um, opportunity or placement, I should say. You were elected to do that, and you don't have to go through certain things that the other people have to go through. You won't have to, because your sacrifices were made via your pain, your growth, your processing, your spiritual healing, your spiritual awakening, your dark night of the soul. That time, that consecration period, that between you and the Most High, that was your initiation. It has nothing to do, and the amounts of studying and meditation and spiritual work that you've done with yourself, within yourself, and maybe for others, that is your initiation, not the other way around, how it operates in that world. So it will be unlikely because, like I said, an unlikely or unusual for these newcomers to be there because their dues are not that traditional, if that makes sense. And for those that had to, in that's already in place there, that had to go through those things, there will be there will be a process of healing and redemption, and a complete turnaround. I feel like mm, I feel like, because I heard a new wave, it's almost like, if you look at, because Spirit's showing me two references. Spirit is showing me the story of Moses, but Spirit's also showing me the scene in The Wiz. It was, some of you guys are familiar with The Wiz, but The Wiz is um, a version of The Wizard of Oz with Diana Ross, Michael Jackson, and when they were um, the Wicked Witch or whatever, she had a sweatshop of people. They were enslaved, and it's kind of like they just live life. They just, this is my life. I don't, I can't see my way out of it. This is my life. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is the vision that I'm being shown, and there's a head, and that head is being dethroned by Dorothy. Let's say Dorothy is the one that's called to do it. Um, and the lion, Scarecrow, like, they all are. I broke down the Wizard of Oz in my own way on my other channel, but they all represent different aspects of the self or within the self, the consciousness within the heart, the strength, the courage within self, um, the divine mind, and believing and trusting in yourself, having courage, having faith, believing in your heart. But anyway, that witch being dethroned, and the people that seen where they started taking off their clothes and they realized that they were actually free and they were saying it's a brand new day. Um, they um that's the energy that I get. Like, some people thinking that I'm always going to be stuck in this loop. I'm always going to be here. I'm going to be stuck. There's no way that something different is going to happen. That's not true. And then the story of Moses. Moses had the ability to part, um, to free his people, his chosen people, the Israelites, out of Egypt, which Egypt means bondage, the house of bondage. And the Pharaoh is also someone that sits on the throne. So something, I'm not going to say one person because it's not one person. There's many of you that represent um, that divine, that is the elect that's coming in. And then on top of that, that wave of you, and this is where Spirit was showing me the wave, the whole thing with Moses parting the Red Sea, parting and making way for others to come in, or rather to leave, I should say. Free them from the house of bondage and get them to that place of the promised land. What it's supposed to be, how it should be. And it's like, it's a renewal, it's a restructuring. It is no more, and I'm not demonizing Egyptian gods. I'm not doing that. We're just using this as a parable, how it says no man should have other gods before me. So worshiping foreign gods, right? The chosen people having to worship their foreign gods that don't resonate with them in their spirit, that goes against their ancestors, that goes against, and not every, some people in the industry, they do ancestral work and they do work with the ancestors. Some do it and exploit that energy. It's not good. But I'm getting like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do the way of the person, your oppressor's way of things. And that is also freeing the self from spiritual bondage. Okay. So, that is what Spirit is showing me. That's the best way that I can describe that. This was a long introduction, but I feel like this is in the message still. This is still a part of the message in spite of the cards. I wouldn't call myself a tarot reader. I have an ability to read the tarot, and I read it traditional and non-traditionally. I'm an intuitive first. I'm a seer first. So I don't necessarily need cards to read energy or to tell you what I'm picking up. The cards is just like a physical representation. It might give me more guidance, more clarity, or just to give you that concrete so you can see it to believe it type of thing, but it's not necessary. I don't need it. But that's what I'm being shown. So let's see. Ask for divine guidance, divine wisdom. Is there anything else that wants to come through when it comes to chosen vessels already in the industry and coming out? You will be hated for no reason too. Like, you don't have to be a bad person. You don't have to have done anything, and you will have haters for no reason. And that's part of the, and it's your divine light, really. If you have a light about you, shadow beings do not like that. And people that are more receptive, look, I was about to say wow, people that are receptive to dark energy or low vibrational people, they're more receptive to be used by darker energies and forces. So they'll attack people without reason. And we live in a society where everybody is a fucking clone. Everybody, or not everyone, but majority of people are clones. They are sheeple. They'll follow what's trendy. What, oh, you hate this person, oh, let's hop on the bandwagon and hate them too. Like, it's, nobody hardly has a mind of their own. So this is for those of you that are newcomer energy. You have a higher purpose and existence that you're supposed to give birth to. You might be someone that is quote unquote ordinary, or someone that is least likely to be in that world. Or some people, you might have a small select that can see who you are. But I feel like those that know, some of you guys already have people watching you for your gifts, your abilities. I'm also seeing the fashion world too. But there's a lot of extensive healing and work. It's in your DNA. It's a gift that you have. It's a gift. It's a gift that you have. The source of it all, the Most High, the divine, is the source of what's going to bring you in. And you're going to help people that are in bondage, that are trapped and feel stuck. See this person's tears, but it's like they're melting. So someone's going to come out of this. There's people that are stuck in that energy, stuck in that sadness, sorrow. Yeah, see, someone's coming through to break this, to see how this is like. It looks kind of like a blue flame, and I feel like that represents spirituality. Kind of similar to the violet flame. The violet flame is used for protection, but it's also used to break things off spiritually, like spiritual cords and things like that. But I'm getting like this person, see how I said, like, there's people that are coming in, forerunners, people that are the light, coming in and shedding this veil, this sorrow, this sadness, this entrapment that people behind here that's already in the industry, I feel, out of. Intensity, forerunner, the wave, the energy, that passion, that fire, that source of energy within self. You are a source. You are connected to the divine. Yeah. I don't think I need to pull anything else because I already pretty much gave y'all the message. I didn't really, this is just, like I said, it's just a reference. It's not necessary, but if y'all want to see it, you see it. So the advice is to be present, whichever side you fall on. Some of you guys may resonate with The Last Airbender, and he was chosen to be the last avatar, and for his mission and his purpose. And the last battle that he had, and mind you, he was trained throughout the entire series to master the elements. The last element that he had to face was the element of fire. Hellfire. I'm just like, he had to fight the Fire Lord. And it's funny how Spirit uses parables and things like that. The Fire Lord, I guess you can say that would be the ruler of what we would know, like biblically, what they would say is hell, right? Satan, right? We're going to use that as an example. Aang had to fight the Fire Lord and defeat him in order to bring restoration back into the lands, because he wanted to take over. This is deep. This just went over my head until today, just this moment. The Fire Lord, he wanted to, in particular, he wanted to take over the earth. What is it called? The Earth Nation, because they have the Fire Nation, the Water Nation, the Air Nation. So he wanted to take over the Earth Nation. So biblically, what they tell us, right, is that Satan has rulership for a time, right, in the physical, the 3D reality, the world, right, to certain extents, because really the inheritance is ours. We have dominion over everything in the earth, the animals, earth, and we don't take care of it, and that's why it's the state of where it's at. But anyway, it's a whole nother thing. So Aang battles with the Fire Lord and defeats him. At first, he's a child. Mind you, the Fire Lord is a grown-ass man, the most powerful nation at the time, and he's a young boy. And he was getting his ass beat in that scene, but it was something that kicked in. His ancestors kicked in, and he activated into that avatar state. He activated into that avatar state. He was able to defeat the Fire Lord and bring restoration back. But the key was the key, and he had heard the advice from his ancestors while he was fighting, we must master ourselves in order to master the elements, pretty much. So in order to master things or this world, this realm, you have to be in master of yourself, being in full alignment within self. That's doing the spiritual work. That's doing the healing work within yourself. And I'm going to leave it there. Much love as always. Peace.